In this video message, I want to talk about demonic strongholds and how these are often people don't actually understand what they have. They wonder why they have problems in their lives that other people seem to not have. In our flesh as Christians, we have a body that certainly wants to sin. You know, we can be tempted by all kinds of things. But there's a big difference when there's something in your life that is tormenting you. It could be evil thoughts of a certain kind that won't leave you alone. It could be an evil desire of some sort that's unnatural, and it just won't leave you alone, and you don't want to feel that way, or you don't want to think that way, but you just find yourself unable to resist. You know, that kind of thing is actually a demonic stronghold. It's something that is more powerful than you, something that you don't have much power over in your life. People wonder why people go into crime. They seem to not able to overcome something in their life, like some people struggle with murderous desires and they kill people, and they wish, how they have remorse, they wish they didn't, but they find themselves unable to resist. That kind of thing, that's a demonic stronghold. Other people are addicted to pornography. That's a demonic stronghold. Other people wish they didn't have homosexual desires and thoughts and feelings, and maybe they don't follow them, but they have them anyway. That is a demonic stronghold. It's a powerful force that's trying to push you in a certain direction that you don't necessarily want to go. And oftentimes it overcomes people's ability, like their willpower. And they become totally given over to the power of that thing, whatever it is. And some people end up in prison. Other people, they do things that are just evil and cause them to be locked out of society in a way, or locked out of their families perhaps, because of something they did that they shouldn't have done in a certain way. There's a large stronghold in this world of lust. People have deep unnatural urges to perhaps sleep around all the time. They get themselves into trouble. They can't resist. It goes beyond just normal human desire. Normal human desire of the flesh is something you can turn down. It's something that doesn't rule your life. It's not something that's going to torment you every day. It's not something that applies pressure to you every day. But if something is applying pressure to you, that's a demonic stronghold. If something within you is applying pressure to your will, that's a demonic stronghold. That means there's another power at work, some reason or other, and most of us often don't know how or why. There was an avenue that demonic powers have a hold in your life for some reason. They have a stronghold. That's why it's called a stronghold. They can mess with you. They can mess with your desires of your natural desires. They can mess with your thoughts. They can mess with your feelings. And you don't perhaps want to feel a certain way. Maybe there's a powerful demonic stronghold in your life that's causing you to want to commit suicide, for instance, or have those sorts of thoughts, feelings, drive, pushing, something that's trying to push you in that direction. Normal people don't have those feelings. That even if a thought of that kind came, they wouldn't think that much of it. It's not something hard to deal with when you don't have a stronghold. The thing is, and the reason I want to make this video is that, I want you to, because I hear a lot of Christians say that they're beyond help in struggling against something. I want you to think about it. Do you have a demonic stronghold? Because if you've got a demonic stronghold in your life, it's going to take more than normal willpower and wanting to obey the scriptures and walk in the way that Christ wants us to walk. So it's going to take more than that will to overcome it. You can have all the good intentions in your life, in your heart as a Christian, to obey the scriptures, to obey the way to live and follow the Spirit, and you want to. But if you have a demonic stronghold in your life, you're going to find it very hard, if not impossible, to overcome something that, whatever it is that's bothering you. And try as you might, you'll be tormented by it. Tormented day and night, perhaps, depending how strong it is and what it is. Tormented. And the thing is, the Lord's way isn't a way of torment. And he says not to do certain things. The Lord says to us as Christians that we shouldn't do certain things. We shouldn't lust in our hearts after other people. We shouldn't watch pornography. We should have one marriage. We shouldn't drink. We shouldn't be addicted. That's another one. Addicted to drugs. There's lots of things as Christians we don't want to be doing. But some believers, as much as they believe in Jesus, they can't give up certain things. And the reason why is because it's not because they don't want to. It's because they have a demonic stronghold in their life. It's pulling them down. It's ruling their will. It's something beyond their power to deal with. And it's causing them to, constantly feel doomed. Doomed, perhaps depressed. Drug addictions and other strongholds that some people have, and they can't seem to kick it. Perhaps alcohol. Whatever the stronghold is, whether it's a lust stronghold, whether it's a perversion stronghold, maybe it's an evil thoughts stronghold. Maybe it's compulsive anger. Anger drives people in a way they can't control it, and they commit stuff, and then sometimes they go to prison, depending what it is. That's also a stronghold, because you start to have another force take you over. You start to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Powerful emotions of the flesh that are beyond your control, that torment you. That's demonic strongholds. Those are all demonic strongholds. Powerful evil spirits that have some kind of rule in your life. You might think it's all far-fetched and a bit strange, but this is true. We don't just live in a physical world. We live in a spiritual world as well. And there's other forces at work that are in this world seeking to rule us and bring us down. Especially if you're a Christian and you want to walk the narrow way, and you don't want to you disobey the Lord, then those things can be even stronger. The thing is, how do we deal with these strongholds? How do we become free from the power of them, so we can live a normal life and just be able to put out, sin and things of the flesh just normally, just as a normal person would, without a second thought, able to turn things down and not be ruled by them, not be tormented by them, not have them destroying your life daily, bringing you down, bringing you to doom and destruction in your mind, taking away all your happiness, leaving nothing but evil and darkness. How do we overcome this? How do we become free? How can we become free from our specific demonic stronghold that might be in your life? Well, I'll tell you, there is only one way, and that's you need deliverance. You need the Lord's power to deliver you from whatever cause of, in the first place, that the stronghold is there, for whatever reason it's there, and you need deliverance from the actual evil spirit that's behind it, that's messing in your life somehow. There's some reason they're there. Demons don't just come into someone's life off the cuff, and they're just there because they felt like it that day. No. Demons are there because there's some reason they're able to be there. And we may never know that reason. And perhaps it's not for us to find out what that reason is. Perhaps you can't find out why. Could be a generational curse. Maybe it's a sin that you let into your life at some point. Maybe you messed around with witchcraft at some point in your life. Perhaps it came through something else. I don't know. But regardless of where it came and how you came to have a stronghold in your life, there is a way to become free. And that's through the Lord. He has to free you. The Lord's power needs to free you. That's the only way you become free from it, to stop tormenting you and become normal in this area, so it doesn't bother you anymore. Just like a normal person in that area wouldn't have a problem with whatever it is. And how do you get the Lord to free you? Well, as a Christian, you need to go to him powerfully in prayer, reaching out until he comes and frees you, and really specifically ask for freedom from that specific demonic stronghold. Name the stronghold of what it is and what it's doing, and go specifically to the Lord about it, and be persistent. It might take a while. Be persistent. I've heard people, they're persistent for at least 2 years, and then they became free. Persistence pays off. Go before God in prayer for mercy and help, and be persistent in faith, asking him to free you from that power that's trying to destroy you. There's no amount of yelling at the power, or trying to find a special prayer to deal with it. There's no amount of that will work. You can yell at it all you like. You can say, be gone, and pray and all you like. You fighting it, it doesn't amount to all that much, because these things are often there for a legal reason of some sort, and often we don't know what that is, and no amount of you trying to rid yourself of it is going to work. You need the Lord to actually step into your life in this area and free you by his power. That's what's got to happen. And the only way you can get that is by fervent prayer, reaching out, not just like once, but continuously, even if it's for 2 years if needed. Really putting yourself before the Lord in faith, reaching out until he answers you in this area, and not giving up, like having a real urgent prayer to him, coming before him in faith, like a child, in faith, and really seeking him about it, and he's going to free you. That's the way to be free, having the Lord free you by his power. There are also deliverance ministries out there with people who have deliverance gifts, and I've heard of people going to their ministry and also having the demon or whatever it is that's messing with them bound and cast away, like the power of it. And this is the way to be free, dear friends. If you're tormented, if you're troubled, and you can't get it out, whatever it is that's messing with you, you need to go before the Lord in urgent prayer, in desperate prayer, in faith, and seeking and asking for him to free you. And he's going to free you, but you've got to spend the time doing it. You've got to spend the time. You've got to spend the urgency. You've got to spend it in faith, reaching out, like this personal prayer and commitment to him. Maybe you can go away from your distractions You know, perhaps at night, go out and go to a nice quiet place at night, perhaps, with the stars shining and, you know, and it's quiet and you can just sit before the Lord and pour out your heart to him in these areas, seeking them in faith. You know, faith is the key that unlocks the power of the Lord in your life. So you work on faith. You know, faith takes a bit of work to get it going, but you got to spend the time working on faith, trusting God's going to do something, and you work on that area, and he does. You know, God responds with faith. You know, we've got to push to the Lord in faith to get answers. That's the only way. Amen.